The reality is, Mr. Murdaugh, is the reason why no one's ever heard that before is because you had to sit in this courtroom and hear your family and your friends, one after the other, come in and testify that you were on that kennel video. So you, like you've done so many times over the course of your life, had to back up and make a new story that kind of fit with the facts that can't be denied. Isn't that true, sir?
No, sir, that's not true.
That's lead prosecutor Creighton Waters hammering away at Alex Murdaugh for a second day over his shifting narrative about a key piece of evidence that we've talked about at length on this show, the infamous kennel video. Now, as we first heard during cross-examination yesterday, Murdaugh revealed new information that he was actually at the kennels with his wife and son just minutes before they were killed, but he is still denied that he is the murderer. This, one of many heated exchanges that the prosecution had with Murdaugh before resting its cross-examination this afternoon. So the question is, how did the prosecution do? Did they deliver a moment during cross-examination that fully convinced every single member of the jury that Alex Murdaugh was the person who killed his wife and son, or not? Well, to help me break it down, I'm joined by a special guest, Emily D. Baker, former Los Angeles Deputy District Attorney and host of The Emily Show, where she has been actively covering the case. Emily, thanks for coming on. I have heard from a number of people, I've spoken to a number of people about this today, and they felt Creighton Waters missed, that there were missed opportunities. He didn't explore, like, why didn't he really ask, where is the blue shirt that we've all been talking about? How do you not turn the paranoia argument? Did you think it was an effective cross-examination?
There were moments, but I don't think you can ask for the blue shirt because it's just going to get turned around back on him. He's cross-examining a lawyer who is sparring with him. What we didn't hear Alex Murdaugh say, not once in any of his testimony, was, I wish I had stayed at the kennels longer. Maybe I could have prevented this. Maybe I could have seen who did this. I wish I had more info. And he wasn't pressed on that. But he also had a moment that I thought was a miss when Alex was saying that he knew for a fact what the killer was thinking, and that the person or persons that did this had hate for Paul Murdaugh and anger in their heart. And he wasn't pressed on, well, how do you know for a certain fact that that's what the person who killed Paul Murdaugh was thinking? And he just steamrollered right past it and then got into talking about whether 12-year-old 5'2" people did this. And that was also a miss for him.
Yeah, there was a part of it, too, when I don't know if it was a misstatement by Alex Murdaugh, but he basically said, you know, when asked about the dogs, you know, how come the dogs didn't bark? And he said nobody was around. He really should have said, you know, no, I just don't think anybody's around. That kind of felt a little strange. Now, I will tell you, Creighton Waters, he spent a lot of time yesterday and also this morning focusing on Murdaugh's alleged financial misdeeds. That's the way that he started without even getting into the murders yet. Did you think that was a wise strategy, or was the jury thinking, you know, why start there?
I think you have to leave the murders for the last questions to get those powerful and impactful moments that stick with the jury. But we knew Creighton wanted to ask him about the theft from clients. What I didn't appreciate was how much he said, is this when you decide to lie? Is this when you decided to steal? Did you look them in the eye? It's clear to everyone that Alex Murdaugh lied fluidly. He didn't decide to do it. He just did. And he lied to his clients and he misled them. And sometimes he just stole from them without even telling them. So fighting with Alex over when did you look them in the eyes and lie, I don't think was effective.
Well, let me play that, actually, so everybody can get a sense of how he did that.
Every single one of them that you at least had a personal conversation with at some point during the course of your representation.
All of my clients?
Representation.
Absolutely. I had multiple conversations with all of my clients.
And these were people, every single one of them, real people that you looked in the eye and convinced them that everything was right.
Your Honor, 403, repetitive, cumulative. We spent 2 hours doing this yesterday.
See, Emily, I agree with you. I think there's an interesting take here is that my always concern about entering that evidence is it's going to confuse the jury. It's going to conflate the issues a little bit. You say that, you know, you really make the point, if he could lie to the people that he loves, if he could lie to his law firm, his clients, jury, what on earth stops him from lying to you? The other question is the motive, right? Did you get a sense that Waters really articulated and made it clear that Alex Murdaugh felt this pressure? Because Murdaugh wasn't giving in. He was not admitting for one point that on June 7th his life was crumbling. He kind of watered it down a little bit.
No, and in this, I believed Alec Murdaugh's testimony because he had lied his way out of everything else. So when he said, I wasn't feeling this pressure, I believed that he wasn't feeling that financial pressure because he thought he was still going to lie to Jeannie Seckinger and get out of it because he had been bailed out. And he had a very long explanation for why he didn't think Chris Wilson was going to open up and show everyone the financials for his lawyer trust account. And I thought that he believed that there wasn't pressure with that particular thing. But the overall circumstance is interesting. But Alec testifying means that the prosecution can shift the motive argument now more to the narcotic addiction because of his testimony.
And that's
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.